Okay, this is going to be the fifth video that I'm filming, but it'll be the second that you're seeing. Okay, we're going to talk about the revolver today. Now, the revolver was invented in about 1836. The semi-auto was invented in 1896, so they have many more decades of experience over their semi-auto counterpart. Revolvers are typically 1,000 times more reliable than semi-autos. When a revolver fires, the barrel, the cylinder, and the hammer are in perfect alignment. That is called timing. If this is not going on properly, the revolver will shoot out of time. My two semi-auto pistols, they've jammed every once in a while. My revolver has never gone out of time. And I've seen guys a lot older than me shot 1,000,000 rounds out of a revolver, never once went out of time. Very, very rare. Also, revolvers tend to be much more rugged and strong, rugged than a semi-auto. If you look at the Desert Eagle, firing 44 Magnum, firing 50 AE, it has to be a very, very large gun. They have revolvers with short barrels that fire 500 Magnum with a pretty big fucking recoil. They have revolvers that are a little bit shorter, smaller than this even, that can fire 44 Magnum. Because the revolver doesn't have a slide to go back or a recoil spring. All it's got to do is have that firing pin drop. Revolvers can be multi-caliber. 357 Magnum shoots 38 special. 44 Magnum shoots 44 special. 454 Casull fires 45 long colt. 460 Magnum fires 45 long colt. 454 Casull. Okay, 500 Magnum fires 500 special. If I wanted to fire a 9mm out of my Glock 40, I would have to change out a barrel, a magazine, and a recoil spring. Okay, but revolvers, you can take a Magnum, just put a low 38 special here, a high Magnum here, and they'll just function nice and easy. This particular revolver is ACP, long colt, and 410 shot. Now, the ACP is an automatic cartridge, and the 9mm also has revolvers. They must be fired by a moon clip, which is this device here, which clamps onto the rims and fits directly in. And this device remains here the entire duration of the firing cycle and comes out with the casings. Long colt and 410 shot will flat out go right in. Also, revolvers tend to be better for guys with disabilities. My fingers in my right hand move slow, but that's not a problem. I can fire my Glock with my right hand. We'll get into that a little bit later. But guys with arthritis, missing fingers, missing hand, missing arm, would feel much more acclimated to a revolver most of the time because they don't have to rack a slide, load a magazine, stuff like that might be easier for them. The downsides of the revolver. I can do the border switch with my Glock and fire it. A lot of people, not all, but a lot of people might not be able to do the border switch when their first hand is hurt and fire this gun. This is a 12-pound trigger, it's very, very strong. Revolvers cannot have extra magazines. Some 22 revolvers have 10-shot rounds, 10-shot cylinders. Defensive guns, I've seen big magnums with 8 rounds. But the average, you're going to get 6 rounds out of the big boys and 5 rounds out of the little boys. That's on average. And you can't increase the cylinder like you could a magazine of a semi-auto. And like I said, it's also low count to begin with. So guys that shoot revolver are very proficient because they know once this revolver is empty, they may have a harder time reloading it. Also, the revolver is the slowest gun to load. In order to load this revolver, unload this revolver, reload this revolver, I have to fire the gun empty. I have to hit this latch here. and I can either do this with the ejection rod, or if I were in a hurry, I would just let gravity be my friend and toss it out. Then you gotta put new in and close. Now, how do I put new in? Well, if I have a moon clip like this, I can just put it in. If I have let's say I had a Magnum revolver, and I had, because of a Magnum, you can buy a device called the speed loader, which has a clip like this, but has a device on top, like a knob, and you line it up, hit the knob, drop the speed loader, close, and then fire. Or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a good example of that is the Miami shooting in 1986. One FBI agent, and this is common, you're more likely to die or be injured or lose the battle reloading the revolver than a semi-auto. One FBI agent had his revolver, he fired 6 shots, he dropped it. He pulled out his backup revolver, fired 5 shots, emptied it, and 1, 2, 3, and was shot. Thank God he survived, because he was shot by a 223 bullet. And Paul Harrell rightly argued in his video, why didn't the guy have a speed loader? I know they were available at the time. And when you buy a speed loader, make sure you buy your speed loader for your revolver. Every revolver has a different speed loader. I cannot use a 686 speed loader on this thing, obviously. You have to have your special speed loader. And the other problem with the revolver that I noticed is the one that killed me. It does not tell you when it is empty. When I'm at the range, I'll fire boom, 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 boom. Dirty higher, right? 6 shots are only 5. And I'll fire and click. Okay, reload. Or I'll fire boom, 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 empty, realize there's still one more round, reload and fire that round. Now under pressure, and yes, I've argued many times, even in this video series, that you're not going to have a lot of incidents where you got to fire 1,000,000 rounds in a home invasion. Okay, most is like 4 or 5 rounds and the fight's over. But in theory, if you have to keep fighting, your ears are going to be bleeding from constant shooting. Okay, this is really going to hurt your ears. You're going to be under intense pressure. And you could literally pull this trigger 12 times before you realize that the gun is going click instead of bang. And then you got to start the reloading process like I argued. Okay, unlike a semi-auto where the action goes right back and oh, that's right, we're empty now. Now another thing about revolvers. Some revolvers have a flat back here. Some revolvers have a hammer, but it's like a flat hammer. And some revolvers have this spur hammer. Also, a lot of guys throughout the years, and you see this on Jerry Mishlock's channel a lot, will actually take this hammer and just shave it down and have a flat hammer. Now what happens is when the hammer is flat or when the hammer is internal, it is only double action. Okay? See the hammer, see the trigger? 12-pound pull. The trigger goes back, the hammer goes back, the cylinder rotates. That is called double action. Now, every gun expert in the world will argue, never do this under pressure. Because when you do this in a high pressure standoff, the hammer is already back, the trigger has gone back 2/3 of the way, see how close it is now to the end? And the cylinder does not have to rotate. See that? That is called single action. The only time you do that is when you're demonstrating, like I am now, or at the range facing down the line. Okay? Because if you're doing this, and you're on the bad guy, if you're shaking, you might accidentally fire the gun as the bad guy is surrendering, which is not going to look good in court. Oh boy. Yes. So that's that. Now, if a guy, also, when the revolver is like this, the gun thinks it's being fired. So therefore, it will not open. How do I unload it? Well, I could just pull the trigger. Or I can take the hammer like this, hold, take the trigger like that, and ease up. Now, if the phone rings, I'm going to shoot it. If a car backfires, I'm going to shoot it. If I just had a guy run out of my house after I shot at him 4 times, I'm gonna go like that, under pressure. Not good. Okay? Plus, so never ever do this. If you're in a standoff, always have it double action. Except for one time. If the bad guy grabs the gun, and he grabs the cylinder, I can't pull the trigger. Now, if I have the flat hammer or the internal hammer, I'm fucked. See that? Watch. Okay? When you pull the hammer back, 4-pound trigger, but the cylinder doesn't have to move. So if the guy is holding the gun like this, and he's trying to hold the cylinder, all I gotta do is that. And the gun will fire with the cylinder being held by the bad guy, and it'll shoot right into his chest. Now, that is the only time in a standoff you touch that hammer, period. Also, do it fast, because if the bad guy's holding the cylinder like this, and you pull it back and you fucking hesitate, what's he gonna do? He's gonna do this. Now you're fucked. Now you gotta go to your secondary weapon. Assuming you have it on your pajamas, your underwear. So that is the revolver. And it also, there's very few revolvers have a Picatinny rail. If you wanted to put a light down here, there's Smith & Wesson Thunder Ranch 325 45 ACP only, has a long barrel with a little piece of rail for a light. Most revolvers are blank. If you want to put a light on it, you're fucked. Okay, and that is the revolver. Thank you.